what's going on? You tuned in to Not the Average Local Rapper, hosted by yours truly, East Shore Ridge. This is the second episode, so if you made it here and you listened to the first one, I appreciate you. I must be doing something right so far. Like I said in the first episode, that was just kind of like the introduction to what this podcast is generally going to be about. I just want to make it informative for one, man, and positive. That's my two main things that I want to focus on. The hip hop community, man. It's a lot of negative shit, man. And I feel like for the up and coming artists like myself, even though I've been doing it for a long time, I'm still up and coming because I'm far from what I'm trying to get to, and I know a lot of artists feel the same way, and one of the best things we could do, is we could just share the knowledge with each other to grow and progress in this shit, man. Cause I mean, it's not as many now, but like the music industry is built off of gatekeepers, man, and it's about the who's and shit like that. So I mean, just any valuable information that we can spread amongst ourselves would be very beneficial to us. Especially with the way things are now, man. Like it's just like I said, man. It's just a lot of negative energy out there, man. And if you listen to my music, then I'm trying to spread positivity and shit. So with that being said, man, like I said, first episode was just kind of you know a brief introduction to what it would be about. But this episode, I want to focus more on something. I want to focus on what all of us artists is, what I mean, our main, task at hand is, with this rap shit, and that's the recording process, man. I just want to talk about that because, I've talked to more artists than I can name about, how to record music, you know, back in the G, of course, it was always like, go to a studio, and it wasn't like really no home recording, like that wasn't really like a thing at one point in time. But now, it's like, that's the main thing now, is the record at home, and I mean, it takes work. It takes acquiring and retaining knowledge. It takes dedication, but it's worthwhile. You know what I mean? Especially with the way these studios is now, man. It's crazy how these studios be taxing and shit, man. Which I can't say whether it's right or wrong, because I always say, if you the person with the service, then your price tag is your price tag. Can't should nobody really argue with you about that. They can either just take it or leave it type shit. But as far as me, man, I always recommend the artists do the home studio thing if you can, man. If you got a little corner in the crib or a room in the crib, that you could utilize as a recording space, then that would always be my recommendation because you'll have to spend more money up front, getting the equipment and stuff like that. But you're gonna save so much more money in the long run. When you're able to make just songs anytime you want and you ain't gotta pay a dime to do it. You already got everything you need right there, as opposed to going to a studio every time you want to record. You gotta book the session. You gotta take care of all the fees that come with that. Because the biggest misconception that a lot of like beginner artists don't understand is like they think when they go record at a studio, like everything is gonna get done right there, for one flat fee, and that's not how it works, man. Most these studios, they just gonna record you for one fee, the hourly fee, they'll record you in their block, but they're mixing and mastering shit, like it's a whole separate charge right there in most of these studios. When I used to record people, I would throw it all in together, and give it a flat fee, but that that was just me, kind of like trying to look out, for artists, me being an artist myself, you know. But a lot of these, you know, these engineers and people that work in studios, like that's their main thing. You know, they don't do other shit. That's what they do. So it's like, you know, you can't fault them for, you know, charging what they charge. But that's just not, you know, realistic for most people, you know, who don't have that large music budget. So it's like, yeah, where do you go? I mean, you do the next best thing. You know, you become the engineer. You know, you become the studio. And you know, like I said, it takes work, man. It takes dedication every day to this shit, man. Like, you know, you never stop learning. You never stop growing. But yeah. So I'll start with my introduction to going to a studio, man, which is really what kind of drove me into getting a home studio. My first time going to a studio was about 20 years ago when I first started rapping. Probably a little less than 20 years ago. In my hometown in Easton and shit, they had like an electronics store and shit in the shopping center, and they had a little studio in there, or whatever. I'm not gonna name names just because I ain't giving nobody no credit, no shine. I don't give a shit how long it's been, but you know, if you was around, you know about that store, you know about that studio. But so yeah, me and three of my homeboys that I was rapping with at the time, like we had just put some shit together on the fly. You know what I mean? Decided, damn, they got a studio in town. You know, we need to go fuck with it, man. We want to be rappers and shit. You know, we all like teenagers and shit, so go up there, whatever. The guy working in there, older Caucasian male. I still remember his name, but and at first I was gonna get on here, yeah, yo, such and such from such and such, fuck you, you know what I mean? When I ain't even ready to do all that, man. But you know, so old yo from the spot, you know, he ends up booking us or whatever. We go in there to record or whatever, and we got instrumentals and shit. You know, we don't have original beats, like, you know, that wasn't even really too much of a thing back then, man. You talking early 2000s and shit. Like, I mean, it was a thing, but not for us, man. You know, we didn't have access to that kind of shit, so we went in there with instrumentals. And like, I had never been to a studio before, but like, now knowing what I know now, or even knowing what I knew 10 years ago, like I would have seen that the whole shit was janky from the rip. Like, this shit wasn't even really set up like how a recording studio for hip hop artists should be set up. But nonetheless, you know, we end up recording, and as I said in the first episode, man, like I was not good when I first started, man. I was not good at all, man. I was the opposite of good. But either way, I paid my money. You know what I mean? Me and my guys, we paid our money, and you know, we dropped what we dropped. You know, shit was probably terrible on my end. I can't speak for the other guys, but on my end, that shit was terrible. But like I said, I paid my money. I want my shit, and I want to hear it, and I want to see where I can improve and all this shit. So, end up not getting the copy of the song that day for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Had to go back up there or whatever. So I don't. I can't remember exactly because, like I said, it was like 20 years ago. But I remember two of the other dudes that I was up there with the first time. They ended up going up there a separate time and like record. And the old guy, you know what I mean, that recorded us the first time in there still, and like it gets back to me basically that dude was just popping shit, like, yeah, like, you know, he talking about me like, yeah, I don't even know why he wants a copy of that shit. Like, that shit was terrible, you know, like, why would you even waste your time doing this, blah, blah, just popping hella shit about me, you know what I mean? Mind you, I paid my money, so I'm like, man, nah, like, this could really go left. But like, you know, I wasn't on that type of time because, you know, I was more so like confused, like, damn, yo, why is this shit going down like this. You know what I mean? So I guess I took the hit. You know, long story short, but at that point, I just, you know what I mean, my confidence was broke once I found out, you know, what was being said and how the whole shit played out. It was just like, man, like, fuck this studio shit, man. Then it just had me questioning the whole rap shit altogether. But then, you know, somehow, some way, I just started, you know, learning about, like, the home recording process. And I know I ended up going to fucking Radio Shack, getting me, like, a little headset mic. And I had, like, an old ass, like, gateway computer, like my mother old computer or some shit, old ass dinosaur desktop. But I remember hooking the headset microphone up to that joint, and it was a program on the old Windows and shit called Sound Recorder. And I remember I just would play the beat in the background, and you know I would just do songs, you know, rapping over the headset mic. And from that point, you know, like I think at the time, like I was on I was starting to learn about, like, you know, the internet rap scene or music scene, if you will. It was a website called SoundClick. Like long before SoundCloud, it was a SoundClick. And if you OG and this shit, and you remember, yo, we used to go on there and get hella beats, and we used to put our songs up on there, just like a SoundCloud. But that's OG shit though. But I you know, I get hip to SoundClick, you know, and I think I was rocking on the AOL chat rooms and shit. I would be in there like typing rhymes and shit, you know, like text battling and shit, and I end up, you know, meeting some cats in there, you know, that was doing a rap thing, you know, like actually making songs and shit. So just through the AOL chats, you know, they was putting me down with game about what software to get, how to use the software. The dude out of Texas, y'all. I think I remember his name, but I don't want to mess it up, so I ain't gonna say it. But it was a brother out of Texas though that put me down with all this shit though. Like he made my first album cover for me. He told me what program to get that I still use to this day. And you know, he gave me some game, yo. So shout out to that dude, man. And I just took it and ran with it. Y'all started doing collabs through the internet, you know, with them guys and shit. And you know, once I got, you know, my skills up a little bit, that's when I started, you know, putting my music out there, you know, out there to the public, like, you know, in person type shit. But that's how I got, you know, kind of into the home recording shit, because I had such a bad experience at the studio the first time. And you know, even though, you know, dude carried it real crazy with me, and you know, insulted the shit out of me, I'm fortunate he did that, man, because it kind of, you know, lit a fire under me to, you know, do my own thing, which is what I, you know, still continue to do to this day. But you know, I have gone to other home, I'm sorry, not home studios. I've gone to other studios and shit, you know, in the past after that. But it's some, you know, some good experiences, some not so good. You know, I think part of it is how it's set up, and then the rest of it is, you know, all in how you make it too, you know, because as artists, you know, we play a big part in how our studio experience goes. So yeah, I think, you know, as an artist, once you figure out, like, you know, what was more beneficial for you, because some artists do have a budget, you know, where they can go to a studio and, you know, do it the way they want to do it. Go to a studio, like professional studio, get it, you know, professionally mixed and mastered or whatnot. And maybe not even professionally, you know, because, like, you know, people use that professional word real loosely, you know what I mean? But yeah, just with somebody who really, you know, certified and shit, I mean. But you know, some people got that budget, man. You know, that can run you a lot of bread. But you know, if you got it, you got it, man. And But if you're looking for the more cost efficient way, then I would definitely recommend getting a home studio. And I used to break it down like piece for piece, like and tell people, what to get, man. I would even go as far as like, telling what the best brands was and the best pieces to get and all that. But I wouldn't even really do that nowadays because like I don't know, man. I just feel like it don't really matter that much, man. Like I feel like it's because I always, like the saying and I always use the saying, it's not the gear, it's the air. So I mean, like it's not so much about what you have, it's about how you use what you have and the knowledge that you have using it. So yeah, man. I mean, it would, it's basic things that you need. Obviously, you need some type of computer, PC, laptop, whatever. A microphone. I used to, get a condenser mic and run it through an interface. And now I just get a joint, a USB mic that just runs straight to the USB in the PC. Like I kind of eliminated the interface because I had an issue with the last interface I had. You know, uh, it was doing some delaying in my vocals or whatever when I recorded, but that's a whole nother topic right there. But so I just kind of got the microphones now that you could just plug right in and go to work. And like I said, I've been using the same software for a long time. And like I said, I used to tell people exactly what to get, from the hardware to the software to the brands and all that. But now I feel like, you could do your research and find out what works best for you. You know what I mean? Because there's so many price ranges, so many, so many variables to studio equipment. But I mean, I definitely feel like that's the way to go, though. If you can manage to do it, like shit, even if you don't have the space in the crib to have like a studio set up, like you can always, find somebody that that might, be able to let you use the room for, a couple hours, a few hours, or if you got, a few extra dollars, you could rent a room, like a hotel room or something, and I always recommend getting laptops, you know what I mean, because you could take your laptop with you, you know what I mean? You can make your studio portable and all that, you know what I mean? And that's how I've done that before. I went to Charlotte one time, you know what I mean? Me and my man that I did music with, we went to Charlotte and we set the studio shit up right in the hotel room, you know what I mean? That's what a lot of these guys do, I ain't telling y'all no, you know what I mean? No secret hacker, no shit like that. That's what a lot of artists do. So it's definitely ways to do shit, you know what I mean? It really ain't, no excuses, I guess, is, you know what I mean? Like, the main thing I want to get across is, like, if you want to record, like, there's really nothing holding you back. I mean, you can even record on your cell phone these days, you know what I mean? Like, I know people that do that, like, I mean, because one thing about it is, like, like, sound quality is still important, but it's, like, it don't gotta be professional no more. Like, it just don't gotta be. And that's, like, the sound quality, I'm gonna save that for a whole nother episode because that shit deserves its own segment right there. But yeah, man, like all in all, it's just what works best for you. Like I said, some people have the budget, some people have the time and the space, and the eagerness and the ambition to learn, how to do something, learn a new skill, and recording yourself and knowing how to mix and master. That's a great skill to have. So I mean, it's pros and cons to each one. I mean, mainly with going to a recording studio like somebody else's shit. It's like you always have to deal with the, like I said, the money part of it. But if that's not an issue, you know what I mean, then I guess the only other cons would be maybe like you just working on somebody else's time, like if you want something by a certain time, like that's dependent on, another person. Like if you want something done a certain way, that's dependent on another person. So it's just all in all, it's just, like are you willing to, leave things in another person's hands? That's kind of, what that comes down to. And then, the pros of it though is just, like, I mean, you don't really have to do any other work besides just go in there and lay the vocals. I mean, and then, it's like if you're dealing with somebody who has, good skills at, doing what they do, then, the music's going to come out sounding good, of course. So, I mean, that's, of course, going to be like the benefits that come out of that. But, and then, with the home studio, of course, that has its pros and cons as well. Like I said, once you acquire everything you need to acquire, like, you can pretty much just make unlimited music at no additional cost besides just maintaining your electric bill, I guess. I mean, and, if you gotta, upgrade, things in your studio, or if you gotta, pay for software, or, whatever case. But I don't know. That's all subject for real. But I mean, just the cons of it. I mean, it's just, if shit go wrong, you're gonna be the one troubleshooting that shit. Like, you're gonna have to, learn a bunch of shit, like people hit me all the time and ask me how to do certain things, or, what happens if this don't work. And I'm just like, man, look, like, I'm the type of person, like, that shit gotta be right in front of me, you know what I mean, for me to be able to begin to figure out what's going on or how to do something. And then, when it comes to like how to, um, record things or how to mix and master things, that's all like everybody has their own way of doing things, like my way may not work for you, it may, but my way is my way. We all gotta, learn our own way of doing things. But yeah, I mean, recording is definitely the fun part of the music process, but I mean, it can also be the stressful part. It can be the part that malfunctions if you ain't got things set up the right way. But the main thing about recording is no matter what, you want to be as prepared as possible when it comes to that. Like a lot of people go to a studio, they don't be having shit written all the time. And then another thing you gotta understand about going to a studio, can't leave this out. That clock is ticking once you get in there. Depending on who you dealing with, a lot of people ain't gonna give you that little grace period to, set up and this, that, and the other. Nah, man, that clock get to ticking, man, because people, be having schedules and, having other artists lined up. So like you got to be with it, like as opposed to, if you doing it at home, you got all the time that you got, to do whatever you need to do because it's your time, it's your shit. But I mean, yeah, it's just all about, what's best for the artist. And like I said, it could be fun. It could be the best shit about making music, but or doing music better yet. But it can also, be a pain in the ass, yo. So I hope, y'all took some things from this, man. Hope it didn't come out as a bunch of gibberish and whatnot. And shit, if you got my contacts and all that, man, you can hit me and I'll answer shit the best, the best way that I can. I ain't gonna do it for nobody, but I can definitely, point people in the right direction, man. But this has been another episode of Not the Average Local Rapper with yours truly, E. Shore Ridge. And I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Thanks for tuning in.